the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. And you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com. These guys are unbelievable, baby!
All right, welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio. We are joined by Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Welcome to In Your Head.
How you doing, brother?
Oh, good, thanks. Let everybody know you got a big show coming up this Saturday at the Sandwich High School. It's for New World Wrestling. It's actually the high school that I graduated from. And if you want to get tickets, you can call 508-833-8205, or you can visit newworldwrestling.com, and we'll have all the links and the information on the website, InYourHeadOnline.com. So, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How's it going over there?
Oh, doing good. So you gonna be cutting anybody's hair this Saturday?
Absolutely. I cut somebody's hair every time I go out, man.
Mm-hmm. Who is the most pleasure to cut their hair?
Who is the most pleasure? Jeez, I don't know. I've cut about 1,000 people's hair, so I don't know. It was all, every time I cut it, it's just as fun as the last time.
Right. Maybe like Jimmy Hart cutting that guy's hair or something like that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Jimmy Hart, who would you like your favorite manager, Jimmy Hart or Valiant?
Johnny Valiant. He managed me for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Did you?
Many managers.
Did he?
Captain Lou. There's a lot of different guys.
Yeah, of course, the Booty Babe.
The Booty Babe, yeah.
Did Valiant help you out a lot, in your early WWE career, WWF career?
Help me out how?
Maybe you were new to WWF. Taught you how to what it was to be like a big heel in the WWF.
Not really, Johnny. Johnny was good at talking and things like that. As far as managing, teaching me anything. As far as wrestling goes, Johnny wasn't the greatest wrestler that ever walked.
Right. I meant more like how to get heat.
Johnny was a good talent on the mic, which was very important.
Mm-hmm. Did you enjoy being the heel or being the babyface more?
Well, I enjoyed being a heel a lot because that was a good part of my personality. I really enjoyed being a heel. When you're a babyface, you got to be nice to everybody and smile and kiss the babies, and you're a heel. You just do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. I was probably one of my favorite tag team matches of all times, Wrestlemania II versus when you guys fought the Bulldogs. What are your thoughts on that match?
Oh, it was a great match. It was probably one of the best matches I've ever had, especially in a WrestleMania. The Bulldogs were a very young, strong team, and the Dream Team was a very, well established and a great team in itself. I didn't really agree with their choice of changing the belts there, but wasn't exactly my choice. So we just had to go along with it.
Was that a guy that you would say helped you? Would be Greg Valentine, or a guy that you really meshed well with because it was a kind of no nonsense wrestler, and you added the personality to the team?
Yeah, Greg is definitely just second generation wrestler. Been wrestling 36 years, I think now. Yeah, absolutely. Greg was a mentor. Definitely showed me and helped me in learning the New York area, and really, taught me the ropes. And as far as the Northeast goes, because I was from Florida, and helped me a lot in that respect. And yeah, definitely, I was more. Excuse me, add some color to that team, the flamboyant and colorful side with Greg's, steady as a rock and very calculating and cold. He came to in the ring. He really, was very, very efficient at hurting people.
Why didn't they ever do a big feud between you two guys when they broke up the team? That's
a good question. They asked Vince McMahon.
I mean, usually when they break up a team with a pretty big history, they go right into the feud.
Well, we did have one for a year. We worked the whole territory with it.
Mm-hmm. I guess at that time they didn't, like you guys didn't have any pay-per-view matches, which they weren't as, they didn't have as many then. Do you think they meant more when they just had like WrestleMania and maybe Royal Rumble and Survivor Series instead of having one every month?
Absolutely. I mean, you just look at the numbers now and tell. I mean, they got so many pay-per-views now, it doesn't, nobody cares. Mm-hmm. It used to be a really big deal. People used to throw parties and have, it was a huge event, and people really, waited for it and really, look forward to it. Now there's so many pay-per-views between wrestling and all the other stuff that it's nothing, nothing new. In other words, there's not. It's just something that happens so often. There's so many pay-per-view this, pay-per-view that's on, pay-per-view wrestling, pay-per-view fights, pay-per-view this, pay-per-view concerts, pay-per-views are so common now that it's, they've definitely ruined it. They've hurt themselves in their numbers and their ability to draw, a lot of numbers.
Mm-hmm. We got a caller here on the line. We got Jason. Do you have a question for Brutus Beefcake?
Yeah, I do. First, I want to say that I met Brutus back in '95. I met him. He was right finishing up my school. I have a picture of it. But my question is it true what Gorilla Monsoon used to say about Greg the Hammer? Did it really take him 30 minutes to actually start breaking a sweat in the match?
Well, I'd probably say closer to about 20 minutes, but Greg used to kind of start slow and then slow down. But Greg, that's just his style, his speed. Greg, most wrestlers, couldn't go more than 15, 20 minutes. They pass out. They weren't in condition. Greg was in such great condition that he was used to wrestling old school, 30, 45 minutes, 60-minute matches, and we're talking about every night. There's not now could survive a 30-minute match, much less a 60-minute match. And Greg was very good at what he did, and he could go all night long.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for calling, Jason.
Yep, thank you.
Let's see, got Dwayne here. Do you have a question?
Yeah. I've been wanting to ask you this for a long time. What was the deal with the Zodiac?
What do you mean, what was the deal?
Like, who came up with the idea and what was it supposed to be? I've been so confused by it for so long.
I'm actually a big fan of the Dungeon of Doom. We had Hugh Morris on a little while ago, and he was talking about, he thought it'd be fun to do a Dungeon of Doom reunion, get-together sometime at one of the conventions.
Well, the WCW, because I couldn't use the name Brutus Beefcake, was kind of at a loss as what to actually do with me for a character. They couldn't use, they weren't exactly sure what to do. So I was in Miami filming a movie called Mr. Nanny with the Hulkster. Mm-hmm. And then one of the dream sequences in the movie, there was 3 or 4 different wrestlers, me, Kamala, Jim Neidhart, I think Hercules, I don't know, there was a bunch of different guys. And so, not to have Brutus Beefcake pounding the hell out of Hulk in the movie, because I was very recognizable, I came up with this paint scheme. I had a lot of zebra stuff anyway on my outfit, so I came up with this paint job. Had their special effects lady and makeup lady do this painting on my face, and then I put on the old Brutus Beefcake outfit, and just cooked up the name Zodiac, and then after we used it in the movie, Kevin Sullivan said, hey, why don't we make, Brutus the Zodiac and put him in the Dungeon of Doom? So they said, okay, fine. So that's what we did. So the Zodiac became part of the Dungeon of Doom, and I had a job.
Well, thanks for calling in, Dwayne.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep. We got one more caller here. Who is this caller? Caller, you're on air with Brutus Beefcake. Do you have a question? Do you have a name?
Yes, how you doing? My name is Mike from Staten Island.
All right. Do you have a question for Brutus?
Yes, first of all, I'd like to say hello, Brutus. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
Good, man. I always wanted to talk to you. Royal Rumble 1990 in Florida, you wrestled the Genius, and you actually cut his hair. Well, or was tried to cut his hair until Mr. Perfect got into the act. How was that, and how was your feud with Mr. Perfect and at the Royal Rumble?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember this match you're talking about. I cut the Genius's hair, but that was WrestleMania after I beat Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't wrestle Royal Rumble in 1990 because I'd been hurt on July 4th, and Royal Rumble comes later in the year, like August or something, I'm pretty sure.
The January. The
pay-per-view was WrestleMania, and it was the Genius. I was cutting his hair. Unfortunately, Pat, the booker there didn't tell Leaping Lanny Poffo that he was getting his hair cut. So, needless to say, his brother Randy Savage was a bit upset. And since I didn't know that he didn't know, and he kept running away from me and trying to get away, I thought he was just, I didn't know what to think.
Right.
But I kept dragging his ass back in the ring and cutting on his hair. And I almost had a fist fight with Randy Savage in the dressing room later because he was pissed off at me because I was cutting his hair. And I told him, I said, look, you got a problem? You need to go talk to the booker that arranged this match because, I'm only doing what I'm told out there. They said cut his hair after the match, so I cut his hair. And if you don't like it, it's too damn bad. Go complain to Pat Patterson or Vince McMahon.
Was there anybody else who ever complained or who didn't just refuse for you to cut their hair?
Well, if you refused, then you didn't have a job.
Right.
So there wasn't too many people that refused. Complained? Yeah, there was a lot of guys that complained.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? They really didn't have a choice.
Right. Well,
also guys that liked to wrestle me because, if they were decent guys and they didn't act up, then they only got a little bit of their hair cut off.
Mm-hmm.
But if they weren't and they tried to pull some funny business in there with me, I know how to take care of myself. So I cut them. I cut them really good.
We got one last caller here. We're going to get to him real quick, and then who's the caller here?
Adam.
Hey, Adam, you got a question for Brutus Beefcake?
Yeah. What did you think about the Ric Flair match? I mean, the Ric Flair thing from Monday?
Ric Flair's retirement?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get to see the after deal there, the retirement thing, whatever, but I did get to see the match. It was a pretty doggone good match. I'm not a real big Ric Flair fan. I don't know if you ever read his book, but
yeah, you met him.
If you waste your money on it, then you might have read some pretty brutally vicious things that he said about me that weren't very nice or flattering or whatever. For what reason, I have no idea. I thought I was friends with Flair since probably the 1980 or so. I knew him. And, I really had no reason to even think that he would go and trash me in his book, but he did. So I kind of, be honest with you, I lost all respect for him. Because if he's got to go and say bad things about people that are supposed to be his friends to try to make himself look better, then he's a pretty pathetic asshole. And it's just a shame he had to stoop to that level to try to make himself look better.
Mm-hmm. To
be honest with you.
Yeah, that's thanks for calling in, Adam.
Okay.
Let everybody know you're going to be this Saturday. It's going to be at Sandwich High School here in Massachusetts. You'll be returning to Cape Cod. You used to wrestle in Cape Cod Coliseum, but this will be at the Sandwich High School, New World Wrestling. Check out newworldwrestling.com. Anything you want to tell your fans out there?
Well, just tell them to come out. These matches and these shows aren't like WWE events. The people, these matches, wrestlers, we sign autographs, we take pictures with the crowd, we get to talk to the people, meet them one-on-one, It's not like a WWE event.
Yeah.
In that respect, you get to actually, really meet the wrestlers and see them up close and take pictures with them and things like that. And it's a lot different. It's a lot more fun for the fans.
Mm-hmm. It's also New World Wrestling is a family friendly event, so you could bring your kids with you, and everybody can have a good time.
Right. It won't be a bunch of strippers taking their clothes off out there.
Right. Well, oh man, that disappoints me, but that's good for everybody who wants to bring their kids.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. We appreciate you coming on tonight.
Oh, yeah, this is B. Brian Blair, and you're listening to In Your Head live. Check it out.